Okay, so I don't normally do this much, but I have a couple things coming up that some friends have asked me to do reviews on, so this is going to be my first quote-unquote in-depth review of a lightsaber. This is the Korabanth Jade saber that I just got yesterday in the mail. I ordered it for a multitude of reasons, one of which was I genuinely wanted a Mara Jade saber. I actually have a tattoo of her saber on my left leg. I have Luke's on my right, that they're taken apart and you can see the crystal inside and things like that. But she's one of my favorite characters, and I love the design of this. I just never really saw one that I wanted, and they put theirs up, and I have found out that they were donating part of the proceeds to the model who portrayed her, I guess, Shannon McRandall's cancer treatments, and that was very important to me. So I jumped on it immediately, and I'm very happy with the purchase. I want to go over pros and cons because it's not perfect, but I will say this right off the bat, it's definitely worth the money for the install. I got the fully installed version. NeoPixel came with a blade, came with a charger. It's a removable battery. The chassis is pretty basic, which they had upgrades for crystal chambers and things like that. I just kind of wanted the basic little.
Let the dark side guide you.
And Jesse from Kyberphonics did the font, which has Shannon McRandall as Mara Jade. There's a bunch of fonts and styles in here. Honestly, my only, well, okay, 3 negatives, one of which is kind of a personal thing. It's a Profi install, but it's a very basic Profi install, which is fine. But like, there's no volume adjustment, and there's no color change that you can do on the fly. Like, I know Dark Wolf sabers, they're Xenopixel ones. You can at least change colors and sound intensity. It's kind of basic, but at least it's available. This, you have to like go through Arduino, which I don't know how to do, which I know. I'm still new to Profi. I know CFX better. But it's a very solid, and it comes very loud. The volume's all the way up. I literally just stuffed a paper towel in there to keep it quieter. But it's super responsive. It's very light, feels good in the hand. It's perfect for, my hand-holding style, I guess you would call it. I don't know, but it fits perfectly for me. It's a really nice, solid hilt. I love the little details. It's got the little red eye, and it's a dual switch here. The only other little, this is where it's a small negative for me, but it was not a deal breaker at all. And this is the second Korabanth hilt that I've gotten. I have the Force Unleashed 2 Rogue Master that they did a little while back. I got that secondhand. But I noticed right away the machining, whatever machinist they use, if it's their own or a third party, does all of their detail lines on the aluminum super, super sharp. And I mean that literally. Every single point is razor sharp. I have cut myself on their hilts a couple times, which I get they're not meant to be toys. But I do have smaller cousins and nephews and nieces, so for me, I want them to be able to play with stuff. So like this, I immediately just took a file and like nicked all those corners. You can't really tell much unless you're looking for it. Try and focus that. And this long section here, all of like the grooves in here, the top plates were super, super sharp. So I just had to take some emery cloth and just really carefully, I did nick it a little bit, but just really carefully take those edges off of the corners so that I don't cut myself again, because like I already did it once. It's little stuff, but like overall it is super crisp, super clean, super solid, seems sturdy, durable. It's just that little bit of like, I kind of wish they could dull the corners a little. But again, that's a personal nitpick. I know these are mostly for display purposes, so most people probably don't even care. Has a Kovatek wheel. It was on backwards because the way the wheel is, if it's on backwards, it fits more snugly against the handle. I flipped it inside out so I can hang it on my belt with a clip. And I'm sorry, this is just me rambling. I don't really have a script or anything. This is just general things that I liked and didn't like. So, going over it in general, it's got a really nice emitter section. Like I said, I love that little red eye. I don't see that detail often. Usually this is black or like clear. So I like that about it. I like the little brass wheel here. Control box is really nice. The little thin neck section under the control box is a nice touch. The switches are solid. Been no misfiring or anything like that. This actually has, this black is actually not just anodized metal. These are little rubber O-rings, it feels like. So that's a nice touch. It gives you a little more grip. And then the lower section, it looks like this is just all one piece with the little screws put into it. And then the little space for the Kovatek wheel. And then the pommel with the sound vent, which I think I already said this, but it was too loud for me, so I literally just stuck a paper towel in the end of the pommel to make it quieter. But yeah, overall, this is my second korabanth hilt. And this is the first one I bought directly from them. They were very upfront and honest about everything that happened. I think we hit something like 1 or 2 delays with the processing, but it didn't take very long, considering other companies like Saber Forge and things like that can take forever. They had said, I think they were estimating to ship in January, and I got it in January. But yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful hilt. I am absolutely in love with this thing. It's smaller than I anticipated it would be, but I like that. I prefer smaller, sleeker hilts, just as a personal preference, than some of the bigger ones that I know, because this on photos a lot of the times looks really big and bulky. It's probably just the design, honestly, because this is very, very small. I also kind of have big hands, but I mean, I'm only like 5'10", so I'm not that big of a guy. But I really, really love this hilt, and I think the guys at korabanth absolutely knocked it out of the park with this. I would 100% recommend it for anybody looking to get a Mara Jade saber, and it comes with a signed card from Shannon McRandall, which I have upstairs on the saber display for it. But that is also a really nice touch, because the Rogue Master I have also has Sam Witwer's signature on a card, so I'm starting to get a small collection of those now. So overall, like I said, I would absolutely recommend getting this, and hope this has been helpful and informative for anybody looking to possibly get one of these.